Welcome to MooMooMath. Today we're going to look at how to graph an ellipse that it does not have a center at the origin. So here's our equation, x minus 3 quantity squared all over 9 plus y plus 2 quantity squared all over 25 is equal to 1. Now, we've done a few lessons already, so you may need to go back and review those. But what we need to do first is to define the value of a, B, and C, where A is the value from the center to the vertices, B is the value from the center to the co-vertices, and C is the value from the center to the foci. Okay, so A is always the greater value. So on this one, A squared is equal to 25. So that means A must be 5. B squared is always the smaller of the two denominators, and B squared is equal to 9, so B must be 3. Now to find C, we're going to use the equation A squared minus B squared is equal to C squared. So we're going to subtract these two perfect squares, and we get 16. So 16 is equal to C squared. Therefore, C must be positive 4. Okay, now let's go to the graph and start plotting these. Okay, now this one's a little bit different because we don't have a center at the origin. But we can use the fact that this is x minus h, where h is the x-coordinate of the vertex, and y minus k, where k is the y-coordinate of the center, and we can plot that. So the center is going to be at positive 3, negative 2. Now from this point, we can count our vertices, co-vertices, and foci. So I'm going to plot the point 3, negative 2, and that's our center. Now, the major axis, we need to go back and look at the equation. Since A is larger than B, and A is associated with the y direction, we're going to count up 5 and down 5. That's the value of A. Then the x direction has our B direction, our minor axis. So we go left and right 3. Now the foci always fall on the major axis. So we're going to go back and count up 4 and down 4 on the major axis, and those blue points, those are where the foci is. And now we can connect and draw our ellipse. So there's our ellipse with a major and minor axis and the foci. Now let's define coordinates. Okay, we're going to first go back and find the vertices. Okay, the vertices are always on the major axis. They're the highest and lowest points here. So we started at the point 3, negative 2, and then we went up 5 and down 5. So I'm going to take 3 as my x-coordinate, and then I'm going to take negative 2, and I'm going to add 5 to that. Well, that puts me at 3. And I'm going to take negative 2, and I'm going to subtract 5, and that puts me at negative 7. And you can see from the graph that's where our vertices are. Now the co-vertices are the endpoints of the minor axis. They go in the x direction. So I'm going to change my x-coordinate. So how far did I move? 3 left and 3 right. So I'm going to take 3 and I'm going to subtract 3, which is 0, negative 2. And I'm going to add 3, which makes it 6, negative 2. And you can see from the graph, that's exactly where those points are. Now the foci. We again are going up and down the y direction, so I'm going to take my y coordinate of my vertex and I'm going to add that distance. So the first coordinate remains 3, but the second coordinate I'm going to add 4, which puts me at positive 2. And then I'm going to subtract 4, which puts me at negative 6. And there are the coordinates for each foci. Now let's look at our major minor axis. The major axis is from vertex to vertex. Well, that distance is 5 from the center to the vertex. So it's 2 times A, which ends up being 10. Then I'm going to look at my minor axis, and that's going to be 2 times b, or twice the distance from the center to the co-vertices. That distance is 3, so that means my minor axis is only 6. And that's how you sketch an ellipse that does not have a center at the origin. I hope this video was helpful.